Hello, class, and welcome to week five. So, for week five, we're going to be looking at the international or global issue of managing diversity. When we talk about some of the issues surrounding managing diversity, we usually look at discrimination, marginalization, oppression. And a lot of these issues we focus on the US context. So for this week, we're going to expand it a little bit more and see how some of this plays out in other parts of the world. Before we get into that, though, this week, please complete the necessary read-ins that are available to you in Canvas. You're going to have a week five discussion board, week five written assignment, and a reflection video. All right. So again, um, there are issues that are often discussed when we're talking about managing diversity within the US context specifically. But again, these are global phenomena affecting countless communities around the world. And understanding how they manifest in various cultural and social contexts is really important for HR professionals that are looking to foster an inclusive work environment. All right. And so, some of the ways we see this play out across the globe, we have discrimination in employment across different cultures. So, in many countries, discrimination in employment is actually rooted in systems like the caste system, in ethnicity, in gender roles. So, for example, in India, there's the caste system, which has historically marginalized Dalits, and I may have said that wrong. It's Dalits, um, and other lower castes. Okay, so India has a system of segregating the people there. They call it caste. And there's this particular group that's usually the lowest of the caste, which are called the Dalits, and they face the most marginalization, the most discrimination. And these lower castes usually are denied equal access to job opportunities and certainly other other benefits within the community and within society. All right. And despite some efforts toward legal reform, these social biases still exist and persist in India. And they definitely affect, how folks show up in the workplace. We talk a lot about racial discrimination in the US. There's not always racial discrimination in other countries. So in some Asian countries, there's actually what we call colorism. So that's where darker skinned people um, are seen as less favorable, or they're seen as they're discriminated against more compared to lighter skinned people. And this is not across races. This is not like white versus black. This is, let's say, a Singaporean, okay? A person that's a Singaporean may be on the lighter side or maybe on the darker side. They're not considered white or black, but they are they face different access opportunities based on the color of their skin, and that can manifest in the workplace as well. In some parts of the Middle East, there's gender segregation and social norms, which may limit women's participation in the workplace or the workforce. And so women may face cultural and religious barriers, leading to underrepresentation in leadership roles and in specific industries in certain countries. In South Africa, there's the legacy of the apartheid, which has left a lasting impact. And it has racial and economic disparities that are still pretty evident and that exist today. So, job opportunities and higher education often remain linked to race in South Africa, which creates ongoing marginalization of non-white communities. In Myanmar, I may say this wrong as well, but it's the Rohingya Muslim minority. That's Rohingyya. They face severe discrimination and marginalization. Okay. And it extends beyond just employment to social services. It extends to political rights as well, and it impacts their livelihoods, and community stability. All right. We talk a lot about race and gender, but in many countries, LGBTQ plus individuals face legal and social persecution. So in some African countries like Uganda and Nigeria, same-sex relationships are criminalized, leading to discrimination in employment, housing, and social participation. All right. And employees who identify as LGBTQ often live in fear of discrimination or even violence. And workplaces may lack inclusive policies or support systems, which perpetuates that marginalization. All right. And it's not just in African countries, there are other countries across the globe as well, where we see discrimination, marginalization, and even violence based on sexual orientation and gender identity. We have indigenous peoples worldwide often experience marginalization stemming from historical injustices and ongoing social exclusion. So, for example, in Australia and even Canada, indigenous communities face barriers to employment, education, and healthcare. And they often work in precarious jobs or remain unemployed due to systemic barriers. All right. Um, so that's just a few examples of how this permeates beyond the borders of the US. All right. There are many more examples that you will read about in this class and beyond this class. All right. Um, but it's important to know that discrimination and marginalization, oppression, um, it, it it doesn't just harm individuals, it undermines organizational performance. It leads to low morale. It can contribute to high turnover. Um, and there are definitely missed opportunities for diverse talent when we don't include, diverse identities um, within our workplace. Right. So that's it for this week. Thank you for watching.